In this video, I will present the paper titled Tabs Do: Task-Centric Browser Tab Management. My name is Joseph Chang, and this is a joint work with Youngsung Kim, Victor Miller, Michael Liu, Brad Myers, and Nikki Couture. So browser interfaces have changed little since tab browsing was popularized around 20 years ago. However, the way we use the web have changed dramatically. 20 years ago, people spent an average of 7 hours online per week. Today, that number is approaching 7 hours per day. Not only has a significant proportion of our professional and personal tasks migrated to the cloud, but we also use the web to support sophisticated sense-making tasks involving many web sources, such as product comparison, trip planning, or home buying. So the gap between this simple linear structure of browser tabs and the complexity of our online activity has led to serious adverse effects for many users, commonly referred to as tab overload. In this work, we explored the idea of a task-centric approach to tab web browsing by designing a browser extension called Tabs Do. In the development of the system, we have 3 design goals, and they are based on our recent interview and survey study focused on tab overload issues. Firstly, users often manage their attention at the task level instead of on individual tabs. But it can be costly to context switch between sets of tabs that are supporting their different tasks. And secondly, the linear list of browser tabs often does not capture the richness of users' tasks. As a result, users sometimes resort to copying and pasting URLs and taking notes in external documents such as word processor or spreadsheets. But this can also lead to high interaction costs. Thirdly, users have tabs that correspond to varying importance and urgency. So things like collecting casual readings from social media to their urgent tasks and long-term projects. However, browser tabs have the same visual saliency. Specifically, all the browser tabs have the same width, which can make it difficult for users to stay focused on their important tasks. So motivated by these core issues, our 3 design goals were: first, to allow users to efficiently group tabs into task bundles and context switch at the task level. Secondly, allow users to create fluid structures that can better reflect their task mental models. And thirdly, allow users to prioritize their tabs so that they can focus on their important tasks. So here's the main interface of the Tabs Do system, which shows up whenever a user opens a new tab after install. On the left is the main menu, where users can filter their tasks by projects or priorities. In the middle is the list of open tabs, which is automatically grouped into potential task bundle suggestions. Finally, the main view on the right shows the nesting structure of saved tasks and user notes. Our first design goal was to lower the cost of context switching at the task level. One key challenge here is that the cost of sifting through open tabs to group all the relevant ones can be very high, especially for a user who has many open tabs. So for this, the system generates grouping predictions to lower the cost of saving and structuring. It also looks at your browsing history and use relevant search queries as the task title when available. And this prediction is performed in the browser with a pre-trained neural network to protect users' privacy. If the model made a mistake, user could also select or deselect tabs to fix it before saving. After saving a task bundle, user can close all the saved tabs to reduce tab clutter. When they need to relaunch a task context, they can reopen all the relevant tabs with a single click. Our second design goal was to allow users to create structure that can better reflect their task mental models. For this, user can drag and drop their task bundles to nest them into tasks and subtasks. In addition, user could also take notes at any level in their task hierarchy in the main interface. They could also do so when they're browsing a single web page using this extension pop-up interface. This allows them to use Tabs Do as their external memory. Our third design goal was to support tasks with different types and priorities. For this, the system allows users to assign types to their tasks to separate them into different sections. References at the top, and then their unfinished to-dos, and then their to-read items. Finally, completed and deprioritized tasks are collapsed at the bottom. User can also prioritize their task, which sorts them within each section and assign them a different color. So that was a high-level overview of the systems. There are more details and features described in the paper if you're interested. For evaluation, we conducted a field deployment study with 10 participants who used the systems to manage their real-world tasks for 1 week. We logged their behavior and it showed that they were actively engaged with the system every day. After the deployment, we interviewed each of them for 30 minutes, and then we coded the transcript. In general, participants responded favorably about their experience. More specifically, participants expressed confidence saving and closing their tab with the system. This is different from prior work that showed users can often be reluctant to close their tab in fear of losing them. Our participants instead said that the biggest benefit is being able to close a bunch of tabs that I had open for days, and that they know that they could come back to them easily. So relatedly, all participants also described being able to context switch at the task level being one of the main benefits. Participants also said that their task bundles and projects were helpful because they reflect their task workflow. For example, one participant had a project with one task bundle containing Word documents that they were writing, and then another task bundle called Analytics for their supporting research. Participants said that they were able to reduce tab clutter and be more focused on the task at hand. One said that the biggest benefit for her was allowing her to focus on one tab at a time, and pointed to how before using TabsDo, she often keeps juggling between large numbers of open tabs, not knowing what to work on. Finally, we also found 7 out of the 10 participants continue to engage with TabsDo every day for more than 2 months, even after the study has concluded. To conclude, current browser designs are becoming insufficient to support modern online tasks for a growing segment of users, leading to issues with tab overload. Fundamentally, as our online task becomes increasingly complex, we also need better interfaces to help us manage our online tasks. In this paper, we explore one direction, which is a task-central approach to tab management. And we found evidence that it can enable users to efficiently context switch amongst their tasks, reduce tab clutter, and create structure that better reflected their task mental model.